Groundhog Jog for Miler today. Groundhog weekend in Punxsutawney. Finished second overall. Roughly, let me look here on my watch. Like 25-20 range, give or take a few seconds. I didn't really look at the results, but we'll just call it 25-20, give or take 15-20 seconds. Wasn't my best time for this race. I've probably done it 5 times now. Probably one of my slowest, if not the slowest. It's a fun race. It's fun coming out to Punxsutawney, seeing some of my friends from out this way that I don't get to see much. Weather was actually pretty damn good for the end of January. Today's the 28th. It's 43 degrees right now. I think it was maybe up to 45, 47 actually in town of Punxsy. The race is usually held, you know, like the weekend before the actual Groundhog's Day. Just because if you do it afterwards, it's kind of pointless, but it's also usually doesn't fall on Groundhog's Day, which is also nice because Punxsutawney gets so overcrowded with visitors. It would be kind of hard to put on the race because we actually go up through Gobbler's Knob where they actually film the live ceremony, if you ever seen it on TV. So you don't want to do that and run through all those people. Like, the crowd control would just be out of control, I guess the best way to put it. Pretty good crowd today. I know there was like 157 pre-registered last night. I don't know what the final tally of who showed up or day ofs. Registration was a little bit slow today. There was a big long line. It didn't seem like there was like a rush getting people through. That was my only complaint today. Because I can't complain about the weather for being the end of January. I thought it was pretty good. I got to wear shorts and just had to wear a heavier top. So yeah, I wear my road shoes today, my race road shoes, calf sleeves, thicker socks just because it's cold out, compression shorts with shorts over top, and then my long sleeve, like thicker shirt, neck gaiter, visor beanie, and my light leg mints is what I went with. Seemed to do the job. If I pushed a little bit, I probably would have got a lot more sweatier than I did, but I was pretty comfortable throughout the race. I mean, I knew going in at the line, there's really only 3 of us, maybe 4, that were going to contend for the top 3. I wasn't really expecting to win. The goal for the day was to finish top 3. I even wrote that on my whiteboard for the week as a goal. So I accomplished that, being second overall. So I'm happy with that. Again, the time was kind of shitty, but halfway through the race I quit pushing because my buddy AJ had such a lead on me and there was such a gap between me and Ron in third. There was no real point in burning energy that I didn't need to, nor did I really want to push the limits today. I did a lot of hill work this week, 2 days of hill repeats, last being like Thursday. I got 3,000 feet in, and then even yesterday, Friday, I went out and ran 5.9 miles, got over 500 feet of gain, and then I biked 20, and I only slept maybe 4.5 hours last night, so I wasn't really in full recovery from even yesterday or the hill repeats from Thursday. So my legs were definitely feeling it today. Started out fun. I really didn't warm up much. Not nearly as much as I should have. By the time I got back to my car, it was 10 till 10. And I started to put my shoes on and get everything ready. I almost forgot my bib. Luckily, I just happened to look down and saw it wasn't on my shorts before I left my vehicle, or I probably would have ran without it today. So like it was 10 till 10 before I got back to my vehicle, and only had a couple minutes before the supposed race start, but I think it got delayed 8-ish minutes, maybe 10, you know, between 8 and 10 minutes, because of the line of people still waiting to get their bibs was so long. They had to push the start back a few minutes. Not a big deal this year because of the weather. In past years they had to do that, but it was like 0 degrees out, so your legs and stuff froze and your whole body froze before the race started. So today wasn't bad, but I didn't warm up enough, get my body actually warm or loose for the race. So I started out a little bit shittier than I probably normally would have or have liked to. So right off the bat, AJ took off. I followed behind him, tried to draft off of him real quick while I could get the draft. I felt a couple people right behind me. Not sure who it was. Ronnie said it was another younger kid or guy, whatever, before he dropped back. And then Ronnie was there, and Doug. I think there was somebody else. I know I could feel the pressure behind me, but I wasn't too concerned about it right away because I knew the hill was coming. The hill itself, probably 2 or 3 tenths into the race. I'd have to look at the video where it starts. But you do, like, you start at like the Barclay Square next to the library and the fire company and police station. And that's actually where Punxsy Phil lives throughout most of the year, like right there in the library. So you start there, do like a couple little blocks before you hit this big hill. And it's at least a 250-foot hill. Let me see if I can pull it up. For maybe, I would say it has to be a little bit over half a mile. But it gets pretty steep and your legs are going to burn. So I got 423 feet of total ascent. I would say 3+ is in that hill going up the Gobbler's Knob. So again, you're definitely going to feel it. I felt it today. I wasn't too far behind AJ going up the hill. I was within like a striking distance, maybe 5 yards or something like that at the most. In years past, I would pass him on the hill before he'd get me on the downhills. I just didn't have it from all those hill repeats to even like pass him. My legs were, what I was telling all them, they felt like incinerated. They were just so much on fire today trying to go up the hill. From the hill repeats, I just had no juice in them, and they were just burning and aching. Like the acid just built up in them right away, because there was still probably some left over from all the work I did this week. So I couldn't even like push up the hill or push the pace at all and try to gap the field behind me. Not that I needed to, but I would like to push the pace a little bit going up the hill, and maybe try to pass him and keep it a little bit tighter for later on in the race, you know, so he didn't finish like a minute or two ahead of me. It would have just been like 30 seconds or something. You know, something I was shooting for, but it just didn't play out today. Again, not a big deal, but I knew my legs just didn't have the juice. So I was kind of hoping I would hold off the field, because that was another concern when I was going up the hill. I was like, so if my legs are this dead right now, are they going to actually feel all right and be able to do anything on the flat and downhill? Even though the flat's pretty brief, maybe only a couple of tenths out of the 4 miles, if that. And then like obviously the downhill where I could push myself a little bit and and force myself to run faster and get that free speed going. Luckily I didn't need to, but my legs also felt better once we hit the flat and downhill. It was just that uphill, my legs just didn't want to work right. I almost had to walk the hill, and I actually thought about walking some of the hill just to save it for later, just to relieve some of the pressure in my legs. But by that time, we were already cresting. And I said, oh, what the hell, you might as well just keep pushing. Not to the point of red line, but just that like tempo pace, which was just good enough. I did breathe a lot of like the diesel from the fire truck that was leading, and the police car like right behind that. Fire truck eventually like pulled off and blocked the road, but the police cruiser kept going. I mean, yeah, I don't think the fire truck did the whole course, but I could be wrong, because I lost sight of it once we started the downhill. Well, I lost sight of the the police cruiser and AJ on like halfway down the downhill, so I don't know what was going on. I can't remember if the fire truck pulled off and blocked the road or if it led the whole race. But as we crested and I felt some pressure release from my legs, not working as hard, we hit Gobbler's Knob, and the actual again, place where they actually film Punxsutawney Phil coming out of his burrow, where they pull him out of his burrow and read the proclamation. It was very slick in there today. It wasn't icy per se, but it was snow covered enough, and then it got compacted down where you didn't have no grip with race road shoes, my Endorphin Pros. It was, I guess you would basically say you're running on a sheet of ice, but it was just really compacted, smooth snow. So like if you were a skier or doing cross-country skiing, you would have loved it. But just the flat bottoms of the road shoes today, you just had no grip in them. Whereas if you had like a trail shoe, you would have done it no problem. So you had to be careful and pull back a little bit so you didn't slip, fall, and hurt yourself. So that cost us probably 20-30 seconds in there. But again, you're always going to run a little bit slower in there, just because if you're wearing road shoes, the conditions are never per se good. Last year, I think the top few of us were actually supporting trail shoes because the roads were actually bad, so we could actually run a little bit better in there, but having trail shoes slowed us down on the rest of the course, whereas this year it was sort of vice versa, whereas road shoes helped us on 99% of the course, but then that Gobbler's Knob section hurt us wearing road shoes. So you take what you get. I know when I popped out of Gobbler's Knob, the people behind me were just entering it, so I had a nice little cushion. So I wasn't too worried after that. I did look back a bunch today, going up the hill, and then even like the flat section as we hit top of the hill, like through Gobbler's Knob, and then some of the downhill. I looked back a few times just to see if anybody was going to try to catch up and push the pace, so I didn't get overtaken by anybody from me not paying attention. So the downhill, AJ really threw it down pace wise, and I just like lost sight of him, and me knowing I was going to catch him, I pulled back a little bit because there was just no point in pushing or wasting the energy. So at least halfway down the downhill, we'll say 2.5 into the race, I lost sight of him because the road does curve a little bit. So So after that, I was kind of unmotivated and just wanted to finish the race and hold on to my position, which is what I did. Traffic was pretty good today. I didn't have anybody ride my ass or pull out in front of me. A couple people saw me coming and they waited for me, which was nice. Other than that, I pretty much cruised the downhill, came into town, cruised into the finish line. There was a lot more people volunteering this year at the turns, a lot more cones from what I remember from past years, and some arrows as well. There was a little bit of yellow snow coming out of Gobbler's Knob. I was like, man, that looks like a lot of a pea in the snow. And then as you got closer, it was actually like arrows and some writing in the snow, but they used yellow, and I just, from a little bit of a distance, you thought like somebody just like peed a whole bunch, like maybe animals or something, but here it was just like race signage. I thought that was kind of funny at the time. Other than that, it was a good crowd. Everybody seemed to have a good time. Saw my friends today. Got some pictures of people finishing. I think it was the American Legion had some hot chocolate coffee and some cookies for us. Cookies were in shape of little groundhogs, so thank you to them for doing that for the runners today, supporting the race. Got a kick-ass award, some kind of like engraved stone. I don't know what the kind of stone it is. Like a slate, I guess it's a slate engraved stone. It's in my back seat, or else I'd pull it up for everybody. I don't know if I can grab it. It's really awesome. Really glad I won it. Well, was able to win it. Check this thing out. How cool is that? Definitely worth the trip, the race. The award ceremony was pretty fun. I got to talk to some people, meet some people. Just an all-around good event today. Happy I went. Nothing, can't really improve it much because, again, this is probably the best year for it, or best race experience I've had there. Not that I've ever had a bad one, it's just the weather and the roads getting here are kind of sketchy at times. And today the roads are bone dry. 99% of the race course was bone dry. You just had a little bit of moisture on like some of the where the yellow or white lines would be on the road, so you can't really complain. And then Gobbler's Knob itself, I mean, you could ask for better, but you really ain't gonna get better. The one thing in Gobbler's Knob, right like at the amphitheater, they actually shoveled this nice like path. It was actually like grass, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go down that instead of like down this like little chute that was still snow covered. Well, I had to backtrack real quick. I lost maybe 5 seconds there because if I would have went straight, there was fencing there, which I couldn't have got around. I would have had to like go between a couple pieces of squeeze through a couple pieces of fencing to actually like go the right way. So I had to like backtrack real quick. Not that I was off course, it was just like parallel, but I was trying to take like a easier running route instead of being on like this compacted snow. I was trying to run in the grass, but that was actually a dead end. Even though it's like 1 foot, there's like the way you're supposed to go, fence post, and then like this grassy area, which I didn't really think it made a difference. I thought the fencing was open at the bottom. So there's that. So I had to like turn around real quick and go down the actual like middle of the theater standing room area, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. either way, guess that's about it. Had fun. I mean, for like $20 and to have a race. I mean, I got a shirt, got that cool award. Got the Challenger's coin somewhere. Let's see if I can bring it up. Everybody got one of these coins. You probably can't see it, the glow. But it's got like a Groundhog Day thing on it. Just for going. And then the hot chocolate coffee and cookies for free. Got a hell of a value today. So if you get a chance, check it out. I got the race course video up online from when I came out and visited, filmed in like the fall. If you want to see what that hill looks like and how you actually run around Gobbler's Knob, it's up. I mean, the hill is pretty steep or significant for a 4 miler, or even if it was like just a 5K or 5 mile or even a 10K. It's a pretty steep hill that gets a lot of people. But it's one of those challenges that makes the course unique as well, and the ability to actually go through Gobbler's Knob. And, you know, I guess part of history, whether you believe in the groundhog or support like the weather, or just one of those like folklore type things, it's just nice to be able to go and see and experience, you know, and see the actual place. You don't get that too much at races. You really don't get to see that scene. I don't want to say scenery, but, you know, experience that uniqueness at a race, I guess is the best way to put it. So this gives you a unique race experience that you can remember, hopefully take home and remember for a lifetime, and tell your friends about, so it helps build the race. It has a good following. There's always good competition. So if you get a chance, check it out. Maybe I'll see you there next year. Maybe the weather would just be as good as well. If not, hey, hopefully you at least enjoyed this and take it easy, and hopefully your training's going well, and I'll hopefully see you guys all soon.